Welcome to Slim Nation's One-on-One podcast with conversations featuring the host, James Slim Overton.
Well, welcome to the Slim Nation 101 podcast. I'm James Slim Overton, and I'm here with a special guest this morning, and I'm glad he agreed to come on. We go kind of way back, how they say, we go far back like a Cadillac seat, but that's an old saying that probably only us know about. But anyway, it's Angriess Scott, and we used to call him Scott when we were in school at Virginia Union University. You know,
Yes, sir.
the Virginia Union
Yeah,
University.
yes,
But
sir.
welcome, Scott. Good morning, Scott. How you doing, brother?
Good morning, Slim. Good morning, and thank God for having me on your podcast and on your show. I'm elated to be here this
Yeah, thanks for coming. I appreciate you accepting the invitation. And I want to start out with you, Scott. We met at Union,
morning. Right.
and we had a common friend.
Oh yeah.
I came there a year after Tim Casey got there, the
Right.
football
Yeah.
player, and you played
Yeah.
football with him. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about how you got to Union because I had a show with Curtis Thompson. Uh,
Right.
yeah, and he talked about the roundabout way he came to Union,
Right.
and
Right.
he was going to, I think, was it Pitt? He was going to
Yeah.
Pitt at first, and then the coach changed, so his opportunity to go there changed. So he decided to come to Union, and he said it was a real experience because before he got to Union, he went to school, mostly white school,
Right. Right. Right.
and so he didn't see but a few blacks, really during that time, and his idea of some of his own people weren't the greatest.
Right.
This
Right.
is something he said, admitted.
Right.
But when he
Right.
got to Union and saw all those black people achieving
Right.
and the history of the school and everything like that, excuse me for a minute, it changed his whole perspective on himself,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
pride in himself. And plus, that was the '70s, and that was the year we were really discovering our blackness.
Right.
And
Right.
even Tim, I think Tim had an opportunity to go to Virginia Tech.
Right. Right.
And, he thought about it and thought about it. He said, now, how much opportunity will I get there
Right.
as
Right.
opposed to going to Virginia Union? And I think
Yeah.
when he went to Union, he started most of the time he was there, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah. Casey
So
was
you
very
had
good.
kind of, yeah, you had kind of a similar
Yeah. Yes, I did.
interest
Uh.
into Virginia Union. You didn't come
Yeah.
directly to us. So tell
Right.
us
That's
about
right.
that.
Well, coming out of high school, I attended William Fleming High School out of Roanoke, Virginia. Uh, and the good thing about that, William Fleming was a diverse high school, more so white students than it was African Americans at that time. And during my career at William Fleming, I was recruited by Wake Forest University, right? Uh, During that time, I was about to attend Wake Forest University, but my SAT scores was not that good at that time. So
Hmm.
I signed with Gardner Webb University, which is in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, right? And it's a great campus, beautiful school. Uh, I just didn't feel comfortable at Gardner
Hmm.
Webb, right? And I had great high school coaches when I was at William Fleming High School, but during my tenure at Gardner Webb,
And that's
Slim,
in Roanoke, right?
yeah, well,
The high
Gardner
school.
Webb, well, my high school is
I
in
mean,
Roanoke,
the high
Virginia.
school. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
the
Hmm.
college, the university that I attended was Gardner Webb University, which is in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, right outside of Shelby, North Carolina, right?
Hmm.
And it's a great school. They treated me well. I was on a full athletic scholarship. I just didn't feel comfortable, Slim. And so, I went to my college coach there, and he gave me a release. I later found out that Howard University wanted to sign me. So I went up to D.C. To talk to Coach Cease. He was the head football coach at that time at Howard. I had a homeboy by the name of Tommy Payne that he and I played together at William Fleming. So Tommy, would say, "Hey Scott, come on up to Howard, man. We can really use you, man. I know you'll fit right in." So I went up to Howard, with the thoughts of that I was going to possibly sign with Howard. But when I got up to Howard, I couldn't differentiate the, the students from the locals because Howard is kind of right there in the middle of things, right there, right. And so I just didn't get that sensation that Howard University will be the university for me. So I did sign with Howard, uh, and my mom said, "Well," she said, "Son, what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, Mom, I really don't know." But then she said, "Well, Coach Bailey from Virginia Union University has shown some interest in you." And I said, "Well, I guess I'll, set up an appointment to go down to see Virginia Union." And so at that time, contacted Coach Bailey, and Virginia Union was playing Virginia State at their homecoming game. So he made arrangements for me to go down there to see the game. And I was one of the recruits that was, waiting in line, for Union at that time. So when I went down to see Union play Virginia State, man, Virginia State was killing Union that day. I mean, and I was like, "Man," I said, "I don't know if I want to go here or not, man. They
Yeah.
they get beat up pretty bad, right? And so after the game, Coach Bailey said, "Angriess," he said, "Did you see the game, son?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "That's why I need you." And
Uh,
the rest was history.
yeah.
I had never visited the campus of Virginia Union, right? But when he said that into my spirit, Slim, he pointed at me and looked me in the face. He said, "Angriess, that's why I need you." And I signed right there and there, and that's the start of my career at Virginia Union University. Uh, and one of the things I can say, Slim, that I had never been around that many black folks in my life, right? Roanoke, like I said, I went to a pretty much all white high school, which was William Fleming at that time. And it was like 75-25. It may have been 85-15, somewhere in that neighborhood. So being around African Americans like that, it was kind of like me getting used to being around my own people at that time. And
Hmm.
but once I got on the campus of Virginia Union, man, I just fell in love. I fell in love. I just felt home. I got to know people like yourself, uh, Dr. Pearl Mankins, Dr. McQuarrie,
Mm.
Dr. Watson, uh, so many other great professors that made sure that you fulfilled your academic excellence, not only your athletic excellence, but they made sure that you fulfilled your academic excellence. And they would ask me, "Scott, you know you're gonna be late to class. You better not be late, son." And that's that loving environment that I experienced at Virginia Union, and I'm quite sure you experienced it as well.
Yeah, I often talk about that, about HBCUs, that, what the teachers know who you are. And sometimes
Right,
if you had personal issues, they would be involved with that as well.
right,
So, and what a great story, Scott. It sounds like the one Curtis told, about having that first opportunity to be around
right,
all black uh, uh, teammates and all black students. And as Tim and I came to Union, it was like I often said my freshman year, I said, "Man, this is like grade 13 for me," because
right, right,
we came
right,
from IC Norcom, the colors
right,
were the same,
right, right,
and we
right,
came from an all black high school, so
right,
it was an easy transformation for us. And I had been on the campus before growing up because my dad went there, so I was like a legacy, you know,
right, right,
coming there. So I was already in love with the campus. But how many? I guess it was a lot of football players that made that kind of route that came there because if you had players like yourself recruited
right.
from these big schools and
Yeah,
then ending
yeah,
up in Union, y'all
yeah.
couldn't help in 1973 to win the championship.
Oh yeah,
You,
yeah,
you, I mean, I used to watch. I knew a lot of the football players, and that's one thing. Being a small campus, you get
Right.
to know everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't like if I was at a big school and I just saw the guys playing and didn't know them. I knew a lot of the guys personally, and I would watch those games, man, and just you know, and see y'all on the field,
Oh
and
yeah.
then see y'all out off the field. It was just like amazing to me. I said, these guys are amazing. I mean, they once they suit up, it's all business.
It's all business.
But
Yeah.
off the
Yeah.
field, they're just like regular guys. They
Yeah.
so that was a great experience. But let's talk about and you went there, you graduated and came out,
Right.
and
Right.
um, after that, of course, you had your own career. But
Right.
I used to be jealous of you a little bit because you live right there in Richmond. If I lived in Richmond, if I had stayed in Richmond, I probably
uh,
would have been on the campus every day,
yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
supporting and being involved. But I got a chance to go down every once in a while. But then you had your own career, but you still did a little coaching there. Talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that
I,
experience.
yeah. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the coaching staff with Coach Joe Taylor. When he was there, he brought me on as the defensive secondary coach, and along with some of my other teammates, Waverly Tiller,
Mm,
Richard Macon, right? Seawall, Big John Wright, who's down in your area. He was the offensive
hmm
line coach, right? So all of us was, we were homegrown Union guys, so we knew the culture of Virginia Union, right? And we had a great recruiting base. My recruiting base was up in the Roanoke Valley, Lynchburg area, Danville, Virginia, all up in that region up there, Charlottesville. So a lot of the people that I played against in high school, the coaches and some of the players, remember me as a player. So when we went to those schools, we were able to get a lot of the best athletes. Some of the athletes
hmm
that was interested in going possibly to Tech, UVA. We were able to steal a couple of those guys and bring them on down, to Virginia Union. So the culture of Virginia Union University is one that I've never experienced. I remember Slim when I walked on the campus. I saw guys like Herb Scott, Larry Softall, Irvin Strickland. I had never been around guys that large in my life. Right? I mean,
Yeah, it was some
it
big
was
guys.
yeah, it was amazing.
And
I mean,
and what was the senator's name? That's the mayor of Roanoke,
uh, Sherman Lee. I mean,
Sherman
and
Lee. Yeah,
yeah, that's one of my best friends, and by
yeah,
me being from Roanoke, Sherman's now the mayor of Roanoke and doing a great job.
right.
But Sherman was probably one of the smallest guys on the offensive line
And he
because
was a center.
and he was a center, and Sherman's a big guy. He's 6'4", about 280, 290, somewhere in that neighborhood. So
Mm,
seeing those guys like that, and then having guys like Irvin Strickland, who played on the defensive side, Horace Williams, which was just as good as Too Tall Jones. Horace would have gotten
yeah,
drafted if he had not tore his leg up. I mean, and
yeah,
he was just that massive, and I
yeah.
was
I
just I
remember
was just
Horace, man.
amazed. I,
Yeah.
I was just amazed at those guys, man.
And the reason, of course, you mentioned Herb Scott. The reason I'm a Cowboy fan today, is because of him. Because when he went to the Cowboys, I automatically switched from whatever team. I was a Redskins at first because my dad
Right,
was.
right, right.
When he went to the Cowboys, because I knew him, because he came from Union, been a Cowboy fan ever since.
Yeah, and the history of Herb. I talked to Herb a lot, and Herb is still down in Texas right now, right?
Hmm
Doing really good. Uh, but Herb was saying that when he was at practice at Dallas, he was saying practice really wasn't that hard, and the guys were having a hard time. Some of his teammates, and he was saying, man, those guys never experienced a hill, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Doing up there, and when and when you come to a football practice at Virginia Union, if you have to run that hill, and that was every day, sometimes twice a day. it was just it was incredible. I don't know how we got through it, still to tell you the truth, right?
I used to see that hill, man. I don't know how especially people like Big Tate,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean,
And sometimes somebody had to ride you back up the hill or something like
I had to take Tate on my back up the hill, right? Because I was one of the strongest defensive backs on the team, right? And
that. Right.
and and when Coach Shaver said, Tate get on Scott's back, I looked, man, and I tell you, it was incredible. Tate was massive, was 6'4",
Yeah.
about 340 or something like that,
Yeah.
six
When he
five.
first got there, he was huge.
Yeah, he was just massive, and I was like, "There's no way I can take." But I guess mind over matter took place, and I wasn't gonna let that defeatist attitude not let me take the Tate up the hill. I barely made it,
Yeah.
but
I know.
but I made it. I made it,
Well, I had a class with Tate, and Tate couldn't even fit in the chair, man.
man. Uh,
He had to
Tate,
sit in an open chair.
yeah, man. Tate was just a massive. I mean, you were intimidated by his size, but
Hmm.
he was a great young guy, man. Very friendly, But like you said, when you put that helmet on and button up on all four sides, it's a different ball game when you step onto that athletic field.
It was all business, all
It's all
business.
business, all
Oh,
business.
okay. So you did that, and then time went by, and a few of the football players decided to form the Burning Sands
Yes, yes,
Alumni Football Foundation.
yes.
How did that start? And what is the purpose? Excuse me.
Well, well, the
And
purpose
excuse
of
me, Scott.
Slim.
I'm getting over a cold, so I'm trying
Okay,
to make it through this.
the the
Go
purpose
ahead.
Slim, the purpose Slim was that we wanted to create a culture that was a lot better for us, uh, a lot better for the upcoming athletes than it was for us when it comes to some of the equipment and scholarships and other things like that. So we wanted to make sure that the upcoming student athletes at Virginia Union will have a very similar experience, but a better experience than what we had. So, and a lot of us former athletes got together and we said, well, what can we do to make the future of Virginia Union student athletes much better? So we came first with the name of Burning Sands Alumni Football Club. And before we used to say, before you become a Panther, you have to cross those burning sands, right? So that's
Yeah.
how Burning Sands came up because right there where the Virginia Union Library was where we practiced, right? And uh, once the grass went away, it was kind of like the Dust Bowl, right? So we
Hmm.
we end up calling it the Burning Sands. So once you cross the Burning Sands, now you're an official student athlete at Virginia Union. So we named it the Burning Sands Alumni Football Club. After we got everything formulated, we are official now Burning Sands Alumni Football Foundation, and which we are a 501c nonprofit. So we have all of the credentials that have been satisfied with the IRS moving forward with our foundation at this time. And I'm honored to say, Slim, that we are the first infinity organization in the history of Virginia Union to start an endowment. And right now, we are $6,000 and we are $6,000 away from having $100,000 in our foundation at this time, which will be permanent scholarships for student athletes at Virginia Union University.
What a great example of giving back to a university that means so much to you as far as the experience you had going there and what they gave you education wise
Yeah,
to further your careers and things like that. I mean, that's so great. And also, it's probably a lot of fun getting together with, some
yeah,
of your teammates and then
yeah,
other guys that had played in different eras, that
yeah,
have joined, you
yeah.
know, and which was I mentioned earlier about the 1973 championship, and
Right.
I think when you all did that, it hadn't been done in a long time,
50 years.
and I remember y'all being
Yeah.
in Store Hall celebrating,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
after that. after you won that after you won that CIAA championship. It
Oh
was a
yeah.
great time on campus and
Oh
everything.
yeah. Yeah.
And recently, y'all, that whole team was inducted into
So,
the Virginia Union Hall of Fame,
yes, we
which
were.
I sure that
Yeah.
was a special honor for you and
Yeah.
your teammates as
It,
well.
it it was Slim because I mean, if you look at it, uh, that year when we won the CIAA championship, uh, we were 10-0, right? 10-0, 9-0. I can't remember exactly, but we were undefeated. Uh, and the thing about that is that we had six shutouts on defense, right?
Hmm.
And that
I think about Damon Dreer,
oh yeah, Damon Dreer, and the
number
Reed,
63.
yeah, the Reed brothers, and then you had Horace Williams,
Right.
and you had guys I played with in secondary, Anthony Leonard, Frank McCray, James Porter, all of us back there together.
Hmm.
I mean, and then Vincent Ely, from down from Suffolk,
Yeah.
Virginia,
From
right?
Suffolk. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just Waverly Tiller right here from Richmond, Virginia. Uh, and again to be with those type of athletes, man, from all over the country, we were just a special. It was just special. I had never been around that much, not just talent, but that much great talent.
Yeah.
Because if Mike Jones,
Mike
who I
Jones. I just
right, yeah, Mike Jones tutored me, right,
Frank
and
McCray.
Frank McCray out of Washington D.C.
Mhm.
We just had a amazing team, man. It was just amazing. But getting back to the Burning Sands, what we're doing now, Slim, is that we're providing a better way in the assistance of providing scholarships for the university. Off of our endowment, they would draw this year off of our endowment for two scholarships. And Coach Parker is really excited about that. And we are really, like I said, $6,000 away from the $100,000 mark, and we're going to hit that $100,000 mark on or before December, and then we have some other initiatives to further grow the investment of this endowment that we're pushing. We're we are moving that really 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 good. And again, going up to Roanoke, Virginia this past weekend, watching our alma mater win the CIAA tournament football championship was just amazing because it went back to my
They had to be
hometown.
special. They
Yeah,
had to be special. Yeah.
and then Slim, the following that Union has is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I talked to one of the sports writers that was up in the area. He said that that's probably the largest attended CIAA championship game that has been in Roanoke, Virginia. I mean Salem, Roanoke, Virginia, since the start of the CIAA championship being taken to that part of Virginia at that time. So Fayetteville State had a great representation as well. But I looked on our side, the Virginia Union side, man, it was just amazing to see. It was, I don't know the numbers, but according to him, it was probably the largest that he's seen. And he's been there every year that has been in existence since it's been in the Salem Roanoke Valley area.
Yeah. You had a nice following at the. It was at the Hall of Fame game.
Yes, yeah, yes. We had a nice following at the Hall of Fame game, and like I said, that was. I'm hoping that we be invited back again because, according to the information I received, that was the largest attended Hall of Fame game that in the existence of the Hall of Fame. So
Oh, okay.
Virginia Union really showed up and showed out. I was very proud of them.
Yeah. And the band show. I mean, I was really proud to see the band performance.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
speaking of the band, of course, you all support the football team
yeah,
in your efforts, but
yeah.
I understand you also support the band.
And we also support the band, we support the cheerleaders because we want everybody to be a part of our organization. Yeah, the football players started it, but to be inclusive, to be inclusive, we want to expand the type of following that we have. We just don't want to only support the football program, but we want to be able to support all of the athletics part of the genuine athletics. So our main purpose, our primary main purpose right now is football. But we're assisting with the band, we're assisting with the cheerleaders, and we're going to, we're assisting with the track program. So we're going to try to incorporate all of the sports that we can within Virginia Union University.
And that's so important. And you know, I like to see that kind of support that you're giving. And I want to ask this too: how as far as when you're giving your scholarships, I know this is important to you and most of the members of the foundation. That when you give those scholarships and you're recruiting the football players, one of the main mission that you have is making sure when those football players come there that they get a good education
Right.
and
That's
they
right.
graduate.
That's right.
With because even though a lot of the players from Union have gone pro, you
Yeah.
mentioned
Right.
Anthony Leonard,
Right.
and some other players have gone pro. Most of the guys don't go pro,
Right.
so
Right.
it's also a preparation for their next level, their next stage in their life. So it's important that they get that a good education
Right.
and walk away with the degree. So I know that's very important to you and the
Oh
rest
yeah.
of the members of the foundation.
Yeah, yes, it is them. And when we go and talk to the student athletes, when we meet with Dr. Parker, the head football coach, and we talk to the student athletes, the football players, we tell them first, is academics first, because if you don't have the academics, you won't be able to fulfill that 1 year renewable scholarship. It used to be a 4 year scholarship, right? But it's
Mhm.
right now it's a 1 year renewable. So it's no more four full years of our athletic scholarship. It's a 1 year renewable, right? So you have to fulfill that academic part of it to receive that athletic part of it. So we stress that to the guys, and I'm very glad that Coach Parker and Coach Taylor, we have a high percentage rate of student athletes that are graduating. And I don't know the percentage right now, but I know they give out these academic awards for the highest in the CIAA, and I think we have been, one or two ranks in the CIAA for hiring success at Virginia Union, in the CIAA as well. So I'm very proud of what we're doing here at Virginia Union, both academically and athletically.
Yeah, and in addition to what you all are doing for the football team, I'm proud to say that our association down here in Hampton Roads, we try to support the athletes that come from Hampton Roads here, and I encourage other alumni associations from all around to support players from your area.
Right,
And
right, right,
any opportunity we get, we try to support the players. One of the players I remember uh, going up there and giving assistance to was the receiver. His last name is Key,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think his name.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and then to sit back and watch him on the field,
yeah,
performing. I said,
yeah,
okay, yeah, I met that young man.
yeah.
So everybody can do their part.
Right. And
So go
one thing
ahead,
I wanted to
go
say,
ahead.
Slim, is that I'm really proud of your alumni association down there, because I think Coach Diego has come to y'all, and he has
Yeah,
become a member of your VUU alumni association down there. So that helps with
yes,
the
indeed.
recruiting. That helps with the recruiting. Then you get to know him personally and learn of
Yeah.
his character. And he's a great coach that's recruiting a lot of good student athletes from the 757 area down there. And so my hat goes out to Coach Diego at this time.
Yeah, we really appreciate him. So it was a great season, man. So
Yeah, yeah.
Union has a tradition of having great running backs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
and where did y'all find this Byers guy from? I remember last year he was just a freshman, and
right,
I think he came there with a goal of trying to get 2,000 yards.
right,
Came pretty
right.
close, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. It came pretty
And
close. You
and
know,
is in up there even after missing some games to an injury. He still came back
yeah,
and had a great season. So
yeah.
where'd y'all find this guy?
Well, Coach Parker, like I said, has a great recruiting history about himself. You know, after getting good top student athletes to attend Virginia Union is has been a tradition. They want to come to a successful winning program. Plus, the culture of Virginia Union winning successes is known nationwide. And so Coach Parker, was blessed to get this young man, and he follows a whole streamline of outstanding running backs. Larry T. Roberts, right? I played with Larry T. I played with Judge Thomas. I played with Malcolm Barnwell. All of
Mhm.
those guys, and it's just been a plethora of great running backs that have came to Virginia. Tim Casey, your
Yeah,
high school, right? I got to put him in the mix because Tim was just outstanding. So, Byers is just he's special, man. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. He's special. He's very
yeah,
special.
I remember Tim used to really get excited when he had to come down here and play Norfolk State
Oh yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
he would, come. That's like coming home and talking
yeah.
trash. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he probably had some of his best games when he had to come down here and play Norfolk State.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
the football team, they're doing well. They're playing in the first round of the NCAA's this coming Saturday, and they're playing Kutztown University, right? I think they're in the same conference with Indiana, Pennsylvania, right? And some of the other teams that we have played before, but not recently, right? So it's gonna be a great game. I know we're gonna go up there with the spirit of that we're gonna bring this thing back home. Because that's what we do. We want to we just not happy to be there. We want to go up there and we want to bring this thing back and keep going as far as we can go with this. And I know Dr. Parker has prepared this team, and they're playoff bound. They're playoff bound ready. If we do the things that we're capable of doing, then I think things will be fine for us on this upcoming Saturday.
Okay, sounds good. So it's a bus trip being sponsored there. You want to talk
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, we are trying to sponsor this bus, Slim. We found out yesterday that pretty much all the buses are full. So right now we are still in the process of trying to negotiate with a couple bus lines right now, so that we can take this bus trip up to Kutztown, Pennsylvania, this coming Saturday. Uh, we're very close to finalizing it. We're meeting with a couple bus companies later today just to put that final package on it, so that we can support our alma mater this Saturday. Now we have a lot of people been calling me, so the bus will be full. We just have to finalize the with the bus, and right here in Richmond area, there are no buses to be found here in the Richmond area, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so we're reaching out to buses down in the Tidewater area, in the western part of Virginia, just to make this bus trip possible to support
So
the
it's so
family.
so important to have that support there. When you're playing the game.
Yeah.
I'm committed, but this will also be televised if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken,
Yes, it
like
will.
like the
Yes, it will.
previous games
Yeah.
for
Yes, it
people who
will.
really want to watch. So, anyway, Scott, I appreciate it. And as we wind down, I want to say, for instance, you came down here and you went to Northam High School, and you were talking to some the football players that might be thinking about Union. What would you be saying to them to convince them to possibly consider Union?
Well, first thing I would tell them, Slim, is that I would, just be real with them, right? I would try to let my character rub off on their character and my spirit rub off on their spirit, and just tell them, listen, if you're highly recruited, I would tell them that first of all, I'm glad that you're considering Virginia Union, and I hope that you would make Virginia Union your choice. But I would tell them that the academic and athletic environment and that the culture of Virginia Union is so embracing that it would be a great opportunity for you to experience this. I would just tell them that it's a small school, a small university, no more than 1,700 students, maybe up to 2,000 right now. but the flavor, the culture that Virginia Union brings on to enhance him or her that will be attending would you would always it would always be a part of your history, your legacy, because Virginia Union has changed my life for the better, Slim. You know, when I left Gardner Webb University, I didn't know where I was going, right? You know,
Hmm.
and by God's grace, and I get excited when I talk about that. It's only by God's grace that God blessed me to attend Virginia Union, right? To meet persons like yourself, to meet my lovely wife who's passed on to glory right now.
Hmm.
I couldn't have been at a better institution that prepared me both academically and athletically. And when I graduated, Slim, I'm proud to say that in my profession, I was one of the youngest black men that was appointed to that position, of the courts. And so, but that came from the outstanding way that Dr. Good, she was the I guess the chairman of the sociology criminal justice department at Virginia Union, that prepared students like myself and students like you to further their career and help me with the resume building, help me with my writing skills, help me with my oral skills, my speech, so that when we go to for an interview that we'll be properly prepared. And I can say that Virginia Union prepared me well. I've been very successful in my career. My career is winding down now, so hopefully within the next year or two, I will be retiring by God's grace. But Virginia Union has prepared me well. And one of the things that I do too, Slim, and I reach out within my department, I go back to my alma mater, and we provide interns for students to come in so we can kind of like take them up under our wings so that they can learn the profession, keep the profession going, and make a great salary to provide a good living base for them and their families to be. So I'm very proud of to be a Virginia Union alumnus, and I'll tell that to anybody. And I'll put my degree with anybody in the country. I don't care if you went to Notre Dame, whatever. My degree just means just as much, and the way that I was tutored, the academic environment that I experienced at Virginia Union prepared me to compete with anybody in the country. So I'm glad to say that.
And it certainly does. And one of the things too, Scott, that when we were there, they had different majors and everything. But even though it's a small campus, small college
Yeah,
setting, university setting, I may say, the opportunities that they offer as far as majors are amazing. Now, when I looked at the curriculum they have there, as far as social work and
right, right,
even I ran into a guy that's a comedian that majored in drama or something
right,
there.
right, right,
They some of the majors weren't there in the '70s
right.
that
That's
are
right.
there now.
That's
So
right.
the
Yeah,
opportunities are there for what you might need to further your career. So we look forward to that. But I want to thank you, man. This
all
was a
right. Thank
long
you
time
so.
coming.
Yeah, yeah,
We've been trying to get together and
yeah,
do something. And what I want to do is do this on a regular basis. I want to be
yeah,
able to my audience to see what's going on at Virginia Union. I can selfishly do that, you know, because this is my platform, so
yeah,
I can
yeah,
I can
yeah.
just like I do with IC Northam,
Yeah,
I can
right,
highlight Virginia Union. And
right.
you forgot to tell those football players too. They can go from maroon and gray to maroon and steel, or
That's
yeah,
right.
maroon and steel,
That's
and
right.
don't even have to change their colors. So
Right,
if they
right.
are true to those colors at Northam, they
Yeah,
can continue on at Virginia Union with the same colors.
yeah.
But anyway, thanks again, Scott. I
Thank you,
appreciate you
Sam. Okay,
taking
thank you.
time out and coming on and give us that information, and especially information about yourself and how you got to you.
Yeah,
I think that's a great story as well. So
yeah,
we will continue this, and thanks again, and everybody. Thanks for watching, and remember, uh, if you go watch us on Facebook, remember to like us. If you watch us on our YouTube channel, which is live now, please like, subscribe, comment. So we want to hear from you and share this. Okay, thanks everybody. We appreciate you, especially those Unionites. Take care.
thank you, Tim. Okay, go VUU.
No, All right, go VUU.
Yeah.
Victory this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.